Hello and welcome to the Mill Street International Horse Show, the only three-star show in Ireland. It's been 12 years since Mill Street had an international show, but boy, they are making up for it with a list of high-profile riders. I'm joined by international course builder Mark McGowan. Mark, thank you so much for joining us. Your job this week was to build 8 courses for the international classes. How has it gone for you?
It's gone very well. The first day we started off reasonably straightforward and we got 17 clears out of 65, which allowed me to gauge the standard of the rider, the standard of the ground and the way the fences rode. And after that I've basically just adjusted my courses each day to suit the calibre of the competition.
That must be a very tough job to do, to be able to kind of check out what kind of horses have been entered in the class that day, because it's up to you to make sure a certain number of horses get into the jump off. Is that something that you have to think about quite a lot, or how do course builders go about that?
I think it is. On certain occasions there are courses you build where you absolutely know that you're going to get a certain amount of clears through to the jump off, but the competitions that I've been designing this week have been Rolex ranking qualifying points, so they're quite strong 150 classes with good prize money. So really you're aiming for between 8 and 12 clear rounds, and so far we've managed to pitch just right about in the middle of that.
So the course here behind us is the Boomerang Final. What exactly do you have to keep in mind when you're building a course for such young horses?
It's very important that you keep a fluency in the track. There should be nothing really trappy in the course. It should all be about forward riding and just about basically testing their accuracy and their power at this stage of their kind of reasonably inexperienced careers. Now, 6-year-olds have got 12 months less experience than the 7-year-olds, who some of them have been abroad this year and have done quite a few good competitions. So it's striking the balance between making it a suitable final for the 6 and 7-year-olds, but not making it overly difficult and not putting too testing a line in.
Okay, and do you have to take into account entertainment for the audience when they're watching it, or is it just important to make the challenge for the rider and the horse?
I think it's important that the sport's good to watch, but it's also important that it's good to compete in. So first and foremost, you must look after the horses that are competing and the riders that are competing, and hopefully the rest will take care of itself.
The course here behind us is quite entertaining to look at. Each jump is very, very different. Can you talk me through it from fence 1?
Well, fence 1's a rustic vertical, which is reasonably straightforward. It is jumping away from the gate, which in days gone by used to kind of phase people a little, but not so much now. And then they go left-handed to a blue oxer on 5 strides down to a vertical. That's a reasonably straightforward distance early on, but they just need to make sure that they're reasonably opened up in their stride after fence 2 to fence 3. Then they go right-handed to an orange oxer just behind you, and then up a centre line of a 7-stride distance from an oxer up to a 1-striding double. Mm-hmm. They have a slight break in their rhythm round to fence 7, which is a rustic oxer, and then a forward 8 strides to a vertical. Now, the difference with this arena is that it's got a little bit of a gradient on it, which tests quite a few of the horses, in particular the young ones who are working on flat surfaces most of the time. Then after that, they've got the final line of an oxer to the castle, and then the combination line on a forward 6 strides to the vertical. So it's forward and it's testing all the way around, but there's nothing in particular I would say I've put in as this is going to be the one that's going to reduce the clears. It's about jumping every fence and interpreting the course.
Okay. And can you tell us how many horses you think is going to go into the second round?
Well, we've now just finished the 6-year-old class, and we had 2 clears. This is a handicap competition, so the 6-year-olds jump and then we increase the height and the width for the 7-year-olds, which makes it a fair competition. Now, we've had 2 clear rounds in the 6-year-old section. One has had a time fault, unfortunately, so we're now going into the 7-year-old section, and I would anticipate there'll probably be another 4 or 5 clears, so 6 in total would be ideal. It would be nice to get some more 6-year-olds, but this is a big stage for them, and I've tried to bear that in mind with the course, not be too tough on them, but at the same time it is for the Boomerang. It's a very prestigious class and it's one that everyone wants to win.
And here we have in the Mill Street Grand Prix, first horse to jump is for Great Britain, Peter Murphy on Recum off centre. Beautiful track of fences here in the Green Glens Arena. These track of fences standing at 155. Horses really need to be jumping in the air to get over these fences. There's a big vertigo. Oh, and he just takes the top pole off. There's this big oxer, number 10. Down here to the combination. Oh, just has the front pole down on the last part of the combination. And clear out over number 13. And that's 8 faults for Peter Murphy from Great Britain.
I'm joined once again by course builder Mark McGowan. This time it's for the Grand Prix. Mark, what kind of course do you have set up here for the riders?
It's quite tough. It starts at number 1 and finishes at number 13, and there's loads of tests in between. But it's the culmination of 4 days of jumping, and it's for €50,000, so it has to reflect the fact that it's a 3-star Grand Prix.
Are there any parts of the course in particular that you're quite fond of?
I think the line from 3, 4, 5 up through the middle, and then towards the end, 11, 12, 13 is proving quite a test, as is the time allowed. The time allowed in this class is 79, and the riders are coming pretty close to that time. So they've got that added pressure if they're clear, as well as trying to stay inside the time.
Yeah, I just walked the course there a few minutes ago, and for a course that uses the whole arena, the time is quite tight. How much pressure is that really going to put on the horses? Is that going to make the horses more tired?
It's a very influential factor, and yes, it will make them tired towards the end of the course, and bearing in mind they have been jumping for a couple of days before this, so but it's all part of the test, it's part of the skill, it's part of the stamina, and that's what makes champions.
What do you have set up for the jump off? Are we going to be in for something very special?
Well, we take 25% through from the jump off, so even though we only get 1 or 2 clears here, we maybe take 10 or 11 through to the jump off. We have 5 new fences in the jump off, because it isn't really, it's a jump off of sorts, but it's called a second round, so that means I can put new fences in, so I have new fences for the second round.
That's the one they all hate.
And how many horses do you think will go clear? Do you think there's going to be any double clears in the competition today?
I'm hoping that we could fill the clears who will naturally go through to the jump off, but if not, I would like 8 clears, and if a double clear wins it, then that would be absolutely ideal.
There's an amazing lineup of horses here from around the world. Are there any horses in particular this afternoon that you're going to be keeping a close eye on?
Well, I was speaking to Alec Butler earlier, and he's got Will Wimbledon. That's a horse I'm very fond of and has been doing particularly well. And also I've got William Funnel. Guy Williams has just been on incredible form, so he can't rule any of these guys out. And there's another few names as well in there that could just make a nuisance of themselves.
I'm here in the International Stables in Mill Street to find out exactly what goes on behind the scenes and to get these horses ready for these international classes. And to tell me all about it is William Funnel's groom, Hannah Berryman. Hannah, how are you this morning?
Good, very well, thank you.
So you're going to be tacking him up for the boomerang. Can you tell me about the tack that you're going to be putting on him this afternoon?
I use normal front boots, the William Funnel leather front boots, and just normal back boots with no elastic straps or anything. Just so you can't pull them tight or anything, because that's the rules for young horse classes. And then I have William's saddle. He has 2 saddles, and then his stud girth. Use this one for Mexico. It's actually sand arena, so I don't put the studs in. So, you know, this usually protects them when they're jumping and from the studs and stuff. But he actually is not wearing any today. Okay. And then I have some saddle-shaped jelly, that like rolls of jelly that I put on under the numner.
And what does that do?
That stops the saddle moving or slipping back or anything. It just holds it in place, because obviously it's moving quite a lot and it's a lot of, you know, motion and stuff. That holds it in place. Then he gets a numner, always clean one, and then I have another jelly that goes between the numner and the pad, and it all just makes the saddle sit in the right place and everything. And that's, you know, just I know how William likes it, so that's what he has. And the girth obviously holds the saddle on. And then he has a bridle, which is actually over there. Nice, normal snaffle bridle. No, he doesn't have any gags or anything like that. He's really nice to ride, really easy. So he has just nice, normal bridle with a martingale that stops him getting his head too high and everything.
So when you say that he has a snaffle, what exactly does that mean? Does that mean that he's not a strong horse and that he's nice and soft?
Yeah, he's nice and soft and easy to ride, and he doesn't like run off with you or anything, and he stays real nice and comfortable in the bridle, and he's really soft in your hand, and he's easy to ride. He's a really nice horse to ride. So.
And there's a martingale on the bridle. What does the martingale do?
The martingale's attached to the reins, and then it goes round his neck and is attached to this clip on the girth here. and it stops him, like when he, if he's coming to a fence, stops him putting his head up too high, and just, otherwise he could get a bit above the bridle and a bit out of control. So have the martingale on it just to stop him going too high.
And he's looking very, very handsome. He's all plaited up. How long does that take to get him looking that good in the mornings?
Well, usually he's been lying down, so he's covered in shavings and stuff. So usually when I've mucked out and everything, I just brush his mane and tail, brush him off and stuff. So I like them to stand sort of clean in the stable. And then, like, depending when his class is, I'll tie him up and I'll brush his mane and tail again, and wipe him over with a cloth with water and Dettol, just, so it brings out a bit of a shine on him. And wipe his eyes and his nose, and I always put a bit of Vaseline on the mouth just to keep it soft, so he's got metal bit in his mouth, just a bit, grease it up and it's like nice and soft. And then so it usually takes me about an hour and a half, like, because I always plait them up and everything. So and then I'll go down to the ring half an hour before he jumps, and so William can work him a little bit, and I have my ring bag with me, and always have a towel and stuff in my ring bag, and so I can just wipe him over if he gets a bit of spit everywhere or a bit of sand or whatever. So keep him as clean as possible. Yeah.
And why is it important for competition horses to look immaculate?
I think it's a good advert for the horse, for the rider, especially the stallions, and our stallions are all breeding stallions. So, I think it's important that when, people see them, they're an eyeful, and people think, yeah, that's, a really nice stallion, and, if they're well turned out, it looks more professional and everything than if you've got dirty tack and a hairy horse with no plaits in, sort of thing. So, yeah, and I'm proud of them. I like them to go to the ring looking, immaculate. Well, as immaculate as I can do anyway. So.
Okay, well, look, you've only got a few minutes before he has to jump, so we're not going to hold you any longer. We're going to let you throw the tack on him and get him down to William. Right. Thank you very much, Hannah.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So, Hannah, we're back here with you again in the stables, and Mexico is just after winning the Boomerang. Yeah. How rewarding is it for you to have your horse perform so well?
It's great when you get them ready and they come back with a win. It's really rewarding. You're really proud of them, and the Boomerang is, it's a real prestigious young horse class, and it's really rewarding. Like, you put in a lot, and there's so much that goes on behind the scenes, and it just makes everything really worthwhile. It's great, really great.
Now, there was tough competition in the jump off. Yeah. I presume you saw the jump off yourself?
Yeah, I did.
Were you a bit worried?
A little bit. I knew, Shane Breen obviously's got a good fast horse and everything, but I knew secretly Mexico's super careful and he's super fast. So I thought, I thought he could pull it out of the bag today, and Willie was going for the big win. So yeah, I was secretly quite confident.
Okay, well done, and a job well done from you too today.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
I'm joined now by William Funnell, winner of the Boomerang this afternoon. William, congratulations, it was a fantastic win. Did you have a game plan in mind going into the arena in the jump off?
I knew I had to be quick because Shane was behind me and he had the privilege of watching me. So, but I think Billy Mexico is a quick horse and a quick jumper, and I knew Shane is a sort of more rhythmical jumper. So I sort of had if I could do a decent round, then I'd give him a good target to, I had in mind to give him a good target to catch anyway.
Your horse, Billy Mexico, is really, really nice horse, and he's one that you've brought on and even bred yourself.
Yes, Donald Barnwell and myself, we've bred him. We still own the father, Kevin Zed, and so yes, it's lovely to have, and all the way through he's been a super horse. I think he won our 4-year-old championships. He was third in the Fox Under Championship, which is our big young horse championship last year as a 6-year-old. So he's ticked all the boxes all the way through, and he's only been back from stud himself 2 weeks. He's probably done 30-40 mares this year. So I've sort of brought him back early, especially for the Boomerang, and then I'll take him on to Dublin next week for the 7- and 8-year-olds. So it's nice when I laid him out to bring him here for the Boomerang, and it's nice when it works. It doesn't always, but he's a good enough horse that it helps then.
And he jumped the course today with great scope. Do you think he's going to be one horse to watch for the future?
I think he's definitely going to be a Grand Prix horse. I think he's shown that already. So yes, it's just looking after him and producing him the right way, and doing the right things and giving him enough time. it comes quick now. 7, they're 8 next year, and as an 8-year-old, they're ready to start, you know, stepping up to the Grand Prix level then. So in a year's time, hopefully he'll be back here jumping the Grand Prix then.
Okay. Well, you're jumping the Grand Prix here next. The course is here behind you. You just walked the course. What do you make of it?
I think it's tough enough. I think, you know, Mark McGowan, the course builder, set us it's a tough test. I should think probably 7 or 8 clears. I would have thought. You know, there's some distance problems and some big oxers. The hill here sort of catches a few horses out as well because it's a little bit up and down hill, which is good. You know, it makes it a variety and gives the riders and the horses something to think about. So I think we've got a bit of everything, and the winner will deserve it.
And the winner would be quite a lucky person because €50,000. That's quite a large amount for a Grand Prix. If you happen to win it today, what would you do with that money?
It soon gets swallowed up. You know, not only have we read this one, we've got about, you know, I think we had 80 foals last year, so there's a lot of mouths to feed down the line. So I think it'll soon be swallowed up.
Okay, well look, best of luck this afternoon, and thanks a million for joining us.
No problem.
So the Grand Prix is just about to get started, so let's go over to Paul now for the commentary. So congratulations to William Funnell for winning the Boomerang. We're going to take a little break now, but coming up next we have the Grand Prix with lots of top-class show jumping. Joined now by Eddie Maloney. Eddie, you just went clear in the Grand Prix on Macushla Or. Mark McGowan has set up a very tough course today. What was it like to ride?
Yeah, the course was quite nice to ride. It was a lot of new fences here that we haven't seen before, and there was the water, and then we had number 11, which was like a style fence that looked completely white. It was unusual for the horses. But the mare was super. She tried very hard. She drifted a little bit from 3 to 4, but after that the round went well.
And the jump off is coming up very soon. Are you looking forward to it?
Yes, sure, and hopefully we can finish in the top 5 or 6. It'll be a very good result at this level. This is a step up from our Premier League on the national circuit, so hopefully, and maybe you never know, we might squeak into Dublin if we do that.
Joined now by Richard Howley, the first clear for Ireland. You were riding Camaro de Harazed. How was the course for you? What did you think of it?
The course it's big. It's big in there for me. I'm not the most experienced at this height yet, so I found it very big. But the horse is a lot of scope, and he is very careful for a big horse. And he's a stallion as well, so it's hard to keep him motivated all the time. But he really jumped today, jumped really good.
Were there any areas of the course in particular that you really felt like you had to ride it?
The last line from 10 to 12 or 10 to 11, sorry, is very short for me. He's a very big horse, and it's hard for me to shorten him in short distances. But he managed very well. I got a nice quiet shot, and he came back to me very good. So.
Now, a second horse just after going clear for Ireland there, so God only knows how many we're going to get, but regardless, the jump off is going to be very exciting. Are you looking forward to it?
I am looking forward to it, yeah. My horse he's a new ride for me. I only have him about 3 weeks, and hopefully he can go fast and leave the jumps up. So.
And there's a nice reward for the winner of today's competition. There's 50 grand prize money. What would you do with the money if you got your hands on it?
Well, I'm going to Dublin next week. It'll be nice to have a few pound in my pocket anyway. That would be good.
Okay, now you're based with Michael Whitaker over in England. How long have you been with him?
I've been 2 years now. He's a fantastic guy to work for. He's really straight, and he gives you a good chance. So it's good for a young person to go away and go abroad a bit and learn how it's done over there.
And what kind of opportunities would you have gotten from working with someone like that than being based here in Ireland?
Well, I don't really know. I've never worked for anyone in Ireland, but to work there, it's fantastic because you get to watch one of the best riders in the world 6 days a week, you know, and it's fantastic to be there and look how things are done and how he does the job. It's fantastic.
Okay, well, you're only 20 years of age, so I'm sure you've got many more years of great success ahead of you, and best of luck with everything.
Hopefully.
A total prize of €50,000 for our Grand Prix here this afternoon.
Now we have Paddy O'Donnell on Harristown Princess. Paddy had a great round in the first round to get into this jump off.
Next up, for Ireland, it's Paddy O'Donnell this time, and he goes with Harristown Princess. The target at the moment here, 41.21. Daniel Newson, 4 Great Britain leads it.
He's clear over the first. Clear over the second. Was on to number 3, Large Oxer. Around to number 4, it's Tall Vertical. Jumps it well. Now he comes to his double. Number 5, A and B. Well over the first part. Good over the second part of it. There's this Large Vertical over the Liverpool. Goes wide. Clear over the Large Oxer and just the last left to jump. And it's clear over the last. It's a clear round for Paddy O'Donnell in time of 45.25.
Well, good round for Paddy O'Donnell. And the fact Paddy decides to go for a good clear, trying to pick up some of this very valuable prize money here this afternoon. He's gone into third place here, so give him a big round of applause. Paddy O'Donnell has jumped his best, here in a time of 45.25. So we're down to the last one here in our final round of our Grand Prix. 4 Great Britain is Anna Edwards and Yazoo.
Now last to go on this jump off is Anna Edwards for Great Britain. So we'll see what Anna can do. Clear over the first. It's a wide turn to the second vertical. Clear over the third, that wide Oxer. Clear more over that vertical at fence 4. Clear down through the double. She rises to fence 6. And she's clear over fence 6. Clear over fence 7 and just the last left to jump. And that's a clear round for Anna Edwards of England on a score of 40.73.
It's here. It's no winning time. 40.73. Give her a big round of applause. Anna Edwards and the Anglers. Well done, Anna. Because we're excited to see you back. Because Anna got a very bad fall, a very heavy fall earlier on in our boomerang final. And she did say she was coming back for the Grand Prix, but she never told she was going to come back.
And there's our winner, Anna Edwards, all the way from Great Britain on a score of 40.73. Second was Daniel Nielsen. Third was Richard James Howley. Fourth was Paddy O'Donnell. And fifth was Federico Franca.
I'm joined now by Chef de Keep, Robert Splain. Robert, can you please explain to me, for people that aren't too familiar with show jumping, what exactly your job entails?
I select the teams and individuals for all senior international show jumping events. Where there's a selection decision to be made, I have to make it.
So you're here in Mill Street today. Are you keeping a close eye on a few young riders to see how they're doing, or are there any positions open?
Absolutely, the Grand Prix is on today, and it's a very important event. This is a fantastic show. It's a great show run by horse people and for horse people, and this is a 3-star event, and the Grand Prix is just on. It's a 150 class, so it's quite relevant to the future for me.
Now you're just after coming back from a major event, probably the biggest event, is it fair to say, of a lifetime for you? The Olympics?
I have been to other Olympics, but this was the best Olympics, I have to say.
And can you tell me, what was that like to be over there with Billy and Keane?
Absolutely fantastic. It was the whole atmosphere was incredible. It was, of course, Olympics, and Olympic standard means it's the very, very best in the world. An incredible experience. I suppose you'd have to actually be there to really feel it and see what it's all about. But it was just amazing.
Now, Keane wasn't due to jump in the final, and he was first reserve. What was it like that morning when he got that phone call to say, get tacked up, you're jumping today?
It wasn't a phone call, no. It's the top 35 go into the final day, and Keane was number 36. And so mentally we were prepared, because there was always quite a strong possibility that somebody would fall out, and as it happened, one did. So we prepared as though we were on the 35, so it wasn't a surprise when it did happen. It was obviously something that we were hoping would happen, and well, one dropped out and one got in, and well, when he got the opportunity, he took it.
Yeah, it's true. When good things like that happen, it is quite lucky, but it's also a great opportunity. Keane jumped very well that afternoon. How did you feel that he went?
Oh, he went fantastic. I mean, he only has the horse about 7 months, so what he's achieved has been very good. In that period of time, I always felt that this horse was probably on his ascendancy. Because each time he jumped in the second round of whatever Nations Cup he jumped in, he actually happened to improve, and I was quietly confident that this horse could do something special. The combination wasn't that special leading up to the last day, I have to say, in London, but they weren't particularly disappointing either, because I mean, remember, they were 36th and 35 got through, but nevertheless, once he got his chance, he was absolutely special. It's a tough little horse, fabulous horse in my opinion. He's got a little twinkle in his eye, and he shakes his head, and he really knows how to jump. And I'm talking about the horse there, and Keane is a pretty tough nut as well. And put those two characters together, I think they were a very formidable combination on the final day.
Okay, so the Nations Cup is in the RDS next week, and what kind of team have you selected for it?
Well, I had to wait a little bit because of the Olympics and to see how that went for us. But anyway, the team is Billy Toomey and Cian O'Connor, and we've got Derek Kearns and Richie Maloney and Clem McMahon. The last three were on the winning team in Hickstead recently.
Very good. And what do you think Ireland's chances are going to be in Nations Cup?
Well, I would hope very good, because it's a wide open contest at this stage. We won our last one, which was fantastic to win in England a couple of weeks ago. Up to that, we had been, I suppose, struggling a little bit, and that's really opened it up wide, because the first two teams coming to Dublin, France and Germany, are safe from relegation, but the last 6 are not. So it's a wide open contest.
Okay, well look, we're all going to have our fingers crossed for Ireland. I'm sure with a team like you've selected, Ireland is going to do well. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, and I hope you enjoy the sunshine here in Mill Street. Thank you, Robert. Are you enjoying the jumping this afternoon?
Yeah, it's great. Having a great time all together, yeah.
Have you been to Mill Street before?
Oh, we come here all the time, yeah. We've 12 horses here this year, so we're doing well. We did very well in the qualifiers. We placed 5 of them, but we were a bit unlucky in the finals. We were out of the placings.
And what difference do you think there is this year in compared to other years, considering this one's an international one?
I think there's been an awful lot of work put in fairness to the Duggan family. The place is looking excellent. All the features and everything. The eventing discovery was brilliant as well this year, which I think was a great crowd puller as well. The weather as well has been fantastic, which is an extra bonus. And it's great to see the international riders back again. There's a lot of them back this year, which is great, and it's a great boost for Mill Street and a great boost for Munster. So I think the whole show has been a great success.
Thanks very much.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely loved it. Yeah, very exciting.
And have you been to Mill Street before?
I have, yes. Yep. I was here last year and a couple of years before that.
And how would you compare it to other years?
I think this year the crowd seems to be better. There's a great atmosphere. Certainly the night times were great fun. The jumping has been superb and a great international representation. So I do a bit of business here as well as we had a pony down jumping as well. So.
Have you enjoyed the show jumping this afternoon?
Yeah, very enjoyable. Yeah, it's a great day out for the family, I have to say. Very enjoyable. And we're getting a bit of weather, which is good. Thank God.
And have you been to Mill Street before?
Never been. Never. Well, actually, I'm wrong. We went to Riverdance in the middle of the night years ago. More years ago than I care to remember. That's the only time I've been to Mill Street before.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Thank you. Joined now by Tom McGurk, owner of Macushla Or. Tom, you're just after walking the jump off course. What do you make of it?
We start with the water. I'm glad it's a little bit bigger because scope's not her problem. And we're second last to go, so we'll give it a good shot. Eddie's in the mood for it. And a lot of the fancied horses and the foreign riders have dropped out, so we might get a home win.
How nervous are you right now, number 1 to 10?
This is like being outside the labour ward.
Okay, we won't keep you any longer because it's just about to start, but best of luck.
Thank you.
And we have a result here now of the Boomerang 7-year-old class, Mill Street 2012. First was William Funnell, second was Shane Breen, third was